Hey guys, Jeff here with Ghost Night Gaming, and we are back with another cosplay and prop tutorial, another one for Halloween. We're getting amped up to get all those costumes ready to go for the kids. A lot of these prep tutorials that we're doing in the next little while are definitely geared more towards just doing really quick builds for your kids, but the great thing about this is a lot of the basic skills you're going to use to make these really quick tutorials and these quick builds you can easily apply to being able to use for larger, more complicated, and more advanced builds, and more durable builds as well, because I mean, for what it's worth, working with cardboard, it'll only last so long, but when you start working with foam and everything like that, all of this stuff is really going to apply, and it's going to be more advanced techniques that we're going to look at later when we start building armor and more complicated tools, parts, and props. You're going to start seeing some of this technique just basically apply and carry over. So today, if you haven't read the title, we're going to build an axe. We're going to build a nice, lovely axe here, you know, just in case one of your kids wants to be a Viking, and, you know, an axe was a typical Viking weapon and tool. So, you know, and one of my kids was like, yeah, this kind of looks like a Minecraft axe, and depending on the Minecraft texture packs, I kind of agree with them. So we're going to get into quickly the basics. So obviously, I've already done my template. And of course, everybody's going, well, why don't you show us how to do the templates? Cry out for more of that in the comments below. And sure enough, at some point, I will give you full-on tutorials on doing templates of all kinds of varieties, both the simple ones of just, hey, just need to do this one, to more complicated ones like doing armor and other more complicated weapons and props. All right, guys, so let's get into what we need so I stop rambling too much. So first step, we're gonna need some cardboard. I've got some cardboard sheets. They're conveniently in the size I need for this particular build. We're gonna need something to cut them, so a utility knife. Again, most of the stuff in this build you can get at the dollar store. Some of it I have alternate versions of it, but almost all of this you can get at the dollar store and probably spend no more than 20 bucks. No more than 20 bucks. Less than 10. And I'll probably experiment with this a little bit later by creating a shopping list. So we'll need that. We're going to need a Sharpie. We've already drawn our template, of which even the template paper you can get at the dollar store. So you're kind of good to go. Okay, so pen. We're going to need some glue. So I'm going with contact cement. I always go with contact cement if I can help it, because it has the best hold and most durable. Now, just in case, because I actually have to spread a lot of contact cement on here, you might end up using a couple of these tubes, or if you're going to be amping up and you're already doing prop builds, grab some barge. Barge cement. Like, this stuff was 55 bucks, but I mean, I've been using this for a year. So 55 bucks for an entire year of using glue. Not so bad, and it already has its own application brush, so I don't have to sacrifice a sponge brush to apply it to my foam, or I could use pieces of foam to apply it to any of my pieces. But we may need some barge. This might make it a little bit easier. Other than that, we're going to need our trusty sewing pins to apply our template to here. We might need a pencil in case of emergency. You never know what you're going to need to draw, what you're going to need to add, especially if you want to add details to it and paint it on later. You're going to want that pencil for that as well. Okay, so I'm going to really quickly get set up, and we're going to get into this. Oh, I forgot something. We're going to need paint. Totally going to need paint. Dollar store paint works just as well. Picking the colors you need. Now I've got one that I have way over here in the corner. I didn't think about this until after, so camera adjust with me. I did grab some dark gray. So for this particular one, the colors I'm going to want silver. I'm going to want dark gray. And then I'm probably going to want brown. And then somewhere I'm going to need some more of my good old electrical marking tape. I've got to find the color I need. I want to actually use red. Yeah, we're going to go with red. And we're going to apply that. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're all set up. I've got all the stuff I need. A couple of things I need to move out of the way. Okay, it's now out of my way. So now, first step, obviously, is applying our template. So I'm going to grab my good old sewing pins. And I've already got holes marked because I did a test piece of this. And we're going to super quickly apply and not stab yourself in the finger like I just did. That hurts a little. And apply it. Apply it to every part of my template. Super quick. Now, we draw on our template. So, make sure you got your lines, make your Sharpie's in good shape. If your Sharpie starts to get dull or not drawn, I would absolutely replace it sooner rather than later. Because you want to be able to see all the pieces of your template so that you can get those nice, oops, now we're drawing on our template, nice crisp lines so you can't even see where I'm drawing. I'm drawing right here. Now we'll move it over. Draw our line here. And now our line down here. Okay, so super quick, super easy. Once that template's drawn, this takes no time. I can really see on my template where I extended the back end because I was going to have it very short. I'm like, no, it needs to be a little bit longer than that. Okay, so next step is cut it out. So I want to go, once again, I kind of want to go outside my lines. Normally we're going to go inside our lines. I actually really need to replace this knife. It's not cutting as sharp. Cutting all this cardboard is hard on a knife. So you may end up replacing the blade a lot more often than if you're even cutting through foam. So it actually like really fights with the, if you find that your knife is dragging through your piece that you're cutting, you can definitely tell at that point it's started to get a little dull. Now you can cut this out with scissors too, absolutely. The only thing you have to worry about with your scissors is that it can crush the cardboard and kind of deform the shape of your piece. So knife is less likely to do it as long as you're not pressing way too far around it. So we're gonna get this cut all the way down here. Make sure our line is actually straight. This is important. And then get those last lines. So, like I said, I like cutting outside because if anything goes according to plan or going wrong, like it kind of almost did there, I can actually clean that up super quick. Did I front? No, I didn't do my front blade. All right. All right. So now all we got to do is make sure everything is cut nice. Don't stab yourself in the hand, guys. Safety first, guys. Safety, safety, safety first. So if you're getting your kids to help you make this, especially younger ones, I recommend you guys do the cutting. They can draw your template. They can paint it till the end of days. But I highly recommend, unless they're older children, that you cut. You do the cutting. But if they're a little bit older, absolutely let them have a shot at it, but supervise. Okay? There we go. Couple of little cleanups, super quick, but other than that, we're good. Okay, so now I want to add some depth to my axe because, I mean, I could have it as is, and away you go. Not too bad. I want it both a little bit more depth, and I want it a little bit more durable. So I'm going to take my second piece of cardboard that I grabbed for this, and we're going to do this part super quick. And I'm actually going to just take my regular template. I could actually make a secondary template for this, and if you plan on doing this a little bit more than once, you may want to. I really should have, but I didn't. So I'm going to show you how. And we're just going to quickly just mark the central portion because I'm actually just going to increase the size of the haft of the axe, so the handle. So I'm going to draw up to there, and draw up to there. I'm going to get my top part, and bottom part. I want to do this twice. Okay, I'll do that. And then another piece right here. You see I've got a space there. We're going to fix that in a minute. Apply that second piece. There we go. Draw across. You can tell my Sharpie's kind of starting to give up the ghost here. I have to get a new one. Actually, I've got a small bucket of them over here. You'll find you do enough crafting, you're going to end up with excess of certain supplies because you just pick them up every chance you get. I do it a lot with a couple of things where, oh yeah, I might actually run out of this. Nah, I've got 30 in the back. Okay, let's grab a ruler super quick. I didn't put it on the list of things you should have, but you should always have a ruler because you probably need it for your template. If you're good enough to freehand everything, I praise you. And all we're going to do is we're just going to complete our lines. All right, we're going to line this up with the rest of the piece. I'm just going to complete our lines. Okay. Now, because we cut outside the lines on our main piece, we're going to do the same on these pieces as well. And all we're going to do, we're going to super quickly cut these out. I keep saying super quickly, mostly because this isn't going to take long, but if you're not comfortable, even now it sounds stupid, but cutting a straight line can be super hard, especially if it's a long straight line. The longer your line is, the more effort you have to do to make it straight. Now you can do it one of two ways. You can run your straight edge, your ruler or whatever, along that line to give yourself a straight line to cut along, or take your time. You know, it'll come with practice. Eventually you'll be like, yeah, I can cut that straight line, no problem. But the main reason you want to make sure you're consistent in cutting your straight lines, same thing with your templates. You want to be consistent with your template. Because when you start layering pieces, if your pieces aren't the same size because you're cutting funny, that's more cleanup work you've got to do after to get it all straight so it doesn't drive you insane. And I don't want you guys to drive yourselves insane. I really don't. All right, so we now got those two pieces. So now let's take a look. Let us take a look. So we've got our axe and we've got our two halved pieces. So we know where they roughly should go. And voila, look at that, look at that. Add some nice depth to it, and it looks like the axe, kind of is inside the axe head is kind of inside the wood, quote unquote, your wood here. So that's not too bad. All right, so now's our next step. So our next step is going to be to apply our contact cement or barge to each of the pieces. And really quickly, this is where your pencil's going to come in. Told you you're going to need a pencil. You're going to draw along here on each side, so you know where you're going to put your glue. So you're going to put your glue on here, and you're going to put your glue on here. Now, thanks to a little bit of video magic, we're just going to keep rolling into the next part because, ta-da! It's already attached and ready to go. That took no time at all. Just kidding. So yeah, you want to make sure you apply to both sides, and then give it 4 or 5 minutes for the glue to not be tacky, and then you can quickly put that all together and apply it. So now it's built. All we've got to do left now is to paint it. So I'm going to start doing all my painting. So I'm going to just show you what I'm going to start with. I'm actually going to start with the axe blade. So I'm going to do the blade first, because then all of my final detailing can go in a little bit later, but we're going to just get some paint in there. And we're going to, depending on the quality of your paint, it's going to affect some of your look. But I want this brushed on. Now I'm going to have to do multiple coats to get my desired look. So I want the axe blade itself nice and dark. Nice in a dark gray. So even so much so if I want it to be appear a whole lot darker than what it might end up here, I may apply some black and mix some black into my gray just to make it a little bit darker. Now this is actually kind of nice. So I like how that's looking, and I like how it's looking on the camera as well. So that is going to be a-okay. So now I'm just going to really quickly get the back of it. Now the reason I'm not doing my handle yet, I'm going to do my handle last. Just because then I actually have something to hold on to while I do all my detail painting on the top. Otherwise I'm going to have to work with some brown paint. So one of the things I didn't mention here in the video, and I never think of until after a lot of times because I'm not thinking far enough ahead, is grab some Mod Podge or some white glue, because you're going to use this after to coat your paint job. What this is going to do, Now, because we're going to have a handle made out of tape, I'm not necessarily worried about it, but if you aren't going to have that and you're just going to have brown all the way down, just have them hold it, you want to apply something that's going to prevent the paint from rubbing off. You know, your hand gets sweaty from holding it for a while and whatever. You're going to end up with paint pretty much everywhere. Stuff actually dries really quick to the cardboard, but I think it's because it's absorbing it. So, get another layer in. Super quick here. Want to get all the way up. That's the other thing. I'm not too opposed to having a little bit of paint accidentally ending up on my handle because, well, I'm going to paint it over with brown a little bit later here. So, and do this. So the other thing you want to consider when you're painting, like I'm going to make this a very plain looking axe. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be boring. But you can add additional details to it. You can add runes or images or whatever texture to it, especially if you're doing this, say you're making, like this is a good way to make a cardboard version of, say, Kratos' axe from the new God of War. You could absolutely make it out of cardboard and then from there actually paint on those details, whether it's painting on with thin lines to create your texture points or using a Sharpie or whatever. So you can add a lot of detail into this blade later on. I'm not going to add any detail to this, but you're going to see a whole lot of neat stuff. Okay, so I'm going to finish painting all of this, and then I will be right back for the finish. All right, so we're back, and look, we're all done. All finished up, got all of it painted. So, really quickly, because I didn't actually go over how I was going to paint the axe blade before we went and did all our painting and detailing and stuff like that, is basically what I did is I took my brush and I just kind of picked my line point that I wanted and just painted across that. Now, if you're not super confident in making sure that stays even as you put on the layers you need to finish it up, or make sure it's even on both sides, because, yeah, it's absolutely a understandable concern, what you can do is actually take some tape, like some green painter's tape, find the angle that you want to draw, especially in this case because it's slightly curved. You can actually cut the tape into the angle you want, attach the tape to where you want to paint that off, and I can show a video of how I would do that later. And then, yeah, you know, have that nice clean look. Looks like it's pretty much the same on both sides. And applied the tape to the handle. I can take some Mod Podge or white glue and paint this over later to seal it up so that it doesn't have that painted feel to it. And there you go. One axe for a costume, all done, ready to go. All told, a couple hours of work. Even with the gluing in, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 hours of work. And, well, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I'd say it looks pretty good. So that is it for me for this one, guys. If you want to see more stuff that I do, be sure to check out the videos. I'll have something somewhere around on me with upcoming videos. Also, stay tuned to my social media as well. All the links will be down below. Make sure, if you like this, to like and subscribe to the channel to see more tutorials, game stuff, game tips, and other fun stuff over here at Ghost Knight Gaming. And if you want to chat with me more, head over to my Twitch channel and you can join me there and speak with me live. Alright guys, have fun, keep gaming, keep creating, and I'll see you guys again next time.